So, guys, let's get into it. Today, we have Nick and Nick from Side by Side Blog, dude.
Doubles,
Nick,
baby.
Sous, and Nick Leonard. Very cool guys. One of the few, YouTubers, when I was with Garrett, we kind of didn't really collaborate, out of, the people we knew. And that was kind of felt like a big step to, go up to Michigan, and we were just like, man... Going up to Michigan, we might get molested by these guys. We didn't really know. It felt like a roll of the dice. I had no idea about anything until 2 days before.
The molestation was off the table, for the record. That was not something we talked about.
Really? All right. Maybe it was just me that thought about that, because I don't think he thought about it. He was like, no, I talked to this guy, Leo, a lot. And I was like, this is the first time I heard about it, and we're getting on a plane to Michigan.
Dang, all right.
I don't know if you knew the depth of that.
No.
Very, very didn't know about it. And then we get there, and this guy Sous picks us up.
Yeah.
And it's like a Raptor, way loaded down from what I thought a Raptor should be.
34-foot trailer.
Way too much for those leaf springs, dude. They were barking.
And then he proceeds to run over curbs and, almost totaled a gas station.
Listen, you guys... Really don't let that down. I hear that
How many years has it been since?
Did I get you?
Years?
Did I get you where you needed to go?
Yeah. Good question.
We did get there.
Was the trailer okay when it got there?
I believe so. I think you guys still have that to this day.
No, we sold it.
No, we sold it, and then it broke in half. Sorry, Ryan. Our friend Ryan. We give him a smoking deal on it, though.
Yeah,
smoking deal.
Okay, so Ryan, if you're listening to this, not the same trailer. Seuss treated that thing really good. So whoever owns that Raptor too is probably. Do you still own that?
Oh, I still got that.
All right, I was gonna say, man, because you were hard on that thing too.
Yeah.
Dude, she did a good job. 65 original 1,000 miles on it.
Original. 65,000 original. That's a good amount of miles.
Yeah,
dude.
I mean that's pretty high. You guys have a couple Raptors, don't you? Didn't you guys get like a?
Yeah, Doug's got a Raptor, and he crashed it into our fence recently at the shop, doing a drift in the snow.
That was tight.
But
That's what you're kind of supposed to do.
Yeah.
With Raptors.
Didn't-
Wasn't that the thing when they came out?
You said just
They came out and
overjump
people
them
were
and
just
explode
like,
them?
Yeah.
watch me destroy this vehicle that I just bought for like $100,000 that was like unobtainium.
Yeah.
Because when they first came out, they were just like so crazy badass from Ford.
Those things were
Yeah.
sick, dude. Like I remember seeing one. I'm like, this looks like a monster truck. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it was like a
ginormous.
full-on Baja truck.
Yeah.
And they're still cool, but now they're a lot more diluted, obviously, in the
Yeah.
world.
Everybody's got them, dude. Even
Cooper,
Nick
are they,
Seuss.
dude?
A little bit more.
You sure about
A
that?
little bit more. Dude, so you guys are down here early. The rest of the crew is still driving in.
Yeah,
You
tough
got-
break.
Is that a rock, paper, scissors deal? How does that work? Who gets to not drive?
Man, that's
Well, it's a bit of a story. I'll start with me.
Okay, go ahead.
So I refuse to drive.
Okay, I guess that makes it easy.
I'm just not going to do it. I don't have as much experience towing stuff. Like the tie-down skills are pretty low. The driving skills are low.
Well, Doug's had some issues.
This was before that happened by a long shot.
You were already in refusal mode.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was an option when I used to drive places.
If you just refuse to do it, it kind of comes off divish, but I do work while I'm on the road, and I can't work and drive at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's a real thing.
It's hard on your back too. That kind of driving.
Yeah.
It gets rough,
Yeah.
and then you're just ain't doing it.
But on this trip, I don't know. We, have the wives down, and they want a little bit of time. This could be the time where we break the news.
Here's
by
the
the
deal,
way.
dude. Here's the deal.
Drum roll.
Truth Street. Cooper. Having twins. Okay?
Wait, no, not Cooper. You're having twins.
Cooper, you're
Yeah.
not having kids. I'm having two of them.
I am
at the
not
same
having
time.
kids at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is
Twins.
pretty-
Do you know genders?
I do.
I didn't know if you were revealing that far, but twins.
I'm not.
Most likely, I would guess most likely the same gender.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I think
Time
they're
will
not
tell.
in the same sack though,
Wow.
which throws
These
everything
aren't.
off.
Yeah, they're not identical twins.
Interesting.
They're paternal twins. So 2 sacks, better. Is what they say.
at the same time.
2 sacks at the same time. I mean,
2 sacks. Well, it's funny because congrats. That's freaking awesome.
Thank
First
you.
off, twins. I mean, that's fun. You kind of
Yeah.
knock out 2 kids right at once.
Yep.
Saves a lot of time.
that is true.
If you plan on having 2, you might as well do it at the same time. You're already there.
Yeah, that is true.
It's like,
I don't know. It's sort of crazy. Let me be the first to tell you.
it's a lot.
Wasn't expecting 2, and here we are. So
It's a lot.
Yeah, there's like a countdown clock I got on my watch here of when I'm going to stop seeing Nick Sous. And that ends around like the beginning of July.
Really?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
They come early, right? With
Yeah, I
twins?
think it'll be more late July.
It's nearly a litter.
Yeah.
I mean, like some would call it that. Yeah.
I mean, modern technology is pretty good, but you never know. Maybe they missed one in there. I don't know.
Could be triples, dude. Can you imagine you have 3? There's just one hiding in there.
I couldn't, Leo. I couldn't imagine.
Anyway.
Well, it's
Yeah.
funny you say that because like since I met Bronte, basically, I have like told her, oh man, like we're gonna have twins, like that's just something that I've always told her.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I have a dark sense of humor,
Right.
and I know how hard twins are to have, but I was also a twin for a very long time in the womb, so I was kind of like, I was just kind of like tease her, I guess, a little bit, like with the twins
yeah.
thing, and I've like driven it into her mind that
It's coming.
we're gonna have twins.
I mean,
which would
if you
be
were
kinda
a
cool.
twin, though, at some point,
For a long time.
so there's definitely a
Yeah,
chance
it's in
you
your
could
family.
make twins.
They
Yeah.
say it's. I mean, I think they say it skips a generation, but in our case, that didn't happen. Her first cousin has twins. Her grandma siblings were twins, and then my mom's side has a bunch of twins. Chances are you're having twins, my man.
We don't really have twins in my family besides like I was gonna be for a little while.
Yeah.
And I'm sure my parents are like, man, that other one was probably gonna be great. I mean, you gotta have the thought, like, man, I think the other one would have been like a doctor or something, lawyer,
That's okay, dude. That's
Dude, you're
okay.
a collector of fine materials. Dude.
sitting here talking in front of a microphone with a bunch of shitty '90s cars around.
That sounds like a great time to me.
I mean, to me, it sounds great.
Yeah.
He literally spent like an hour and a half on the way to the airport explaining to me why I need to start collecting old 90s and 80s cars.
Yeah, it's a real thing. I
That's a
started
very
doing that.
boomer sensation. Yeah, like
That's how we're doing it now.
JDM or like some old like U.S. boats, basically. 'Cause
U.S. boats, dude.
I feel like you're a big like U.S. boat type of guy. Like it has to have like a couch
Yeah.
seat.
Oh, yeah.
You guys could have made a podcast studio with just cutting like a car in half and like putting
Yeah.
2 cars in there.
We talked about that with side by sides. We have so many that we would just
seats
park
and
2
stuff,
side by
yeah.
sides, but
You'd be so
lot
far
no
of
from
one has
everyone.
Yeah.
seen no one's seen the podcast setup yet, so it's not that. We'll
Yeah.
say that.
I've seen a little bit of it. I got the sneak peeks of it, so
it's
I'm kind
too
of
much.
yeah. It's
Went too
pretty
hard.
great.
Yeah.
I'm definitely pumped about that. I hope to come up there. Maybe I'll be invited onto it.
We'll invite Coop. We have like a whole
Dude,
thing.
You're on the list.
Dude,
You're on the list.
I got a
Short
connection.
list.
Oh shit, man!
So back to the 80s and 90s cars. I, on a whim last summer, bought a 86 Caprice wagon and
Yeah.
then just put giant subwoofers in it. Turns out, great deal. It's pretty much what you need.
Yeah, that's probably the most comfortable. Do you drive like a winter beater, or is this like
It's
a
cherry, so
all
no.
year round? Okay,
It just sits and leaks oil,
cherry.
and I drive it like 4 times a year.
I'm sure that's like one of those cars though, where if an EMP hits, she'll probably fire right up.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even think about that.
Holy
Old 307,
moly. Yeah,
baby.
I
Let's
didn't
go.
even think
Yeah, like all of us will be out here with our high tech ECUs and stuff.
Yeah.
No shot that thing's lasting an EMP.
Yeah, dude. You got Motec and you got low tech.
Yeah,
That's where I'm at.
I'm already getting to the point in the podcast where I need my tinfoil hat.
Yeah, seriously. I thought that was it right there. What is that thing?
That's air conditioning, dude.
Oh, I thought I
Air-conditioned
felt that.
snake, dude.
I
It
was-
looks like it's coming from a
I
brain.
keep saying I need like a tinfoil hat to keep on the shelf because
It's a good idea.
every now and then, me and Spencer got a little tinfoil hatty.
Talking about what?
Going down the road, huh?
We went down the Titanic road. It was really.
This is Titanic
Love
Master right
Titanic,
here.
dude. Love it.
I went down the whole questioning if it's really the Titanic on the bottom of the ocean there.
Wow.
Or it's the Olympic.
That's
the
what
other one
we
that
were.
it's supposed
That's
to
what
be,
we
right?
were. Yeah.
I don't think we should go down that road.
It's,
What do you
it's too
mean?
early in the podcast for that.
fine.
We'll lose them too quickly. So, you guys decided to get involved with Uncle Chet.
Oh, yep. Sure
Oh,
did.
yeah. That guy's my
Any regret
actual
there?
uncle.
Yeah.
For real, in real life.
Yeah, it's his actual uncle.
I've known Chet for a long time.
Is
Not
he your
by
uncle
DNA
too?
or anything.
I mean, I think I would be considered. I think I could be considered. What would it be? His nephew? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's my uncle. He's everyone's uncle.
He's everybody's uncle.
Great guy.
Dude's the best.
Great guy.
yeah, he bought our shop for us, which was a
Believe
big
it or
help.
not.
So he owns a gigantic plot of land in Michigan that he doesn't
paid him
even
off.
go to. Oh, you already
We
paid him off.
6% interest
Dang.
as well. So
That's solid.
yeah, he going into it, he said, "I've never made any money on deals that I've made with my friends." I said, "Okay, well, we'll try to make that work," and we paid him.
Wow.
6% of a good amount of money. So he made some money. We got a shop. We're good to go.
That's pretty awesome. I didn't realize it was. I mean, it's only been what, a year?
We got it in
End of July.
2 years?
August, something like that. No, he was paid back by October. So
Oh wow, that's really quick.
we're good. Yeah.
And recently, I've noticed, which seems cool. Everybody's opening a business in the facility.
yeah.
Like everyone seems to be. I don't know how much you want to touch on. Like, I'd love to hear like what kind of in-house stuff you guys are going to be doing, but it's also not in-house because it's going to be for everyone. Like,
Yeah, it's all the same.
Sure.
businesses for
like, it's
people,
gonna be
but-
like a big, like, sort of car ecosystem.
Yeah.
like a
Part-
compound,
yeah,
but
yeah.
also a business complex because, yeah.
You
so
have to, man. I wish you could see that building, Coop.
I know I
You
need
can
to
see
come
the
up there.
building.
Yeah, but I wish you were.
We'll bring him up.
I wish you were there right now. We could walk you through it.
Yeah. Visually, like, we could create that in his mind, though.
I guess we could.
So
Like a
what kind of
mental image.
businesses are going to be on property then?
So it starts from a different position than that. So, like, when we started the business, it was always obvious that YouTube is finite, right? There's only so many people that are going to like you. Something could happen. YouTube could shut down. Who knows? So then
Yeah, when
we're
you find the
cooked.
people that like you, I would love to meet them because I haven't found many that like me yet.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that.
No,
like me.
not for you. No, I think we're cut from the same loin on that part.
Who knows?
Because I've been looking for the people that like me for a while now.
There's a lot of people that like you. I'm
Found
one
a
of
lot
them.
that tolerate
There's two
me.
right here.
Right here, dude.
Oh
There's
shit!
two.
You guys subscribe? Let me check.
I'm sub.
Oh, the phones.
I'm sub, dude. Anyway,
All right,
so
the business side.
yeah, it was always about like completing the circle. So when we started making videos and then selling parts, that was just based around the idea of, okay, you can market the part and you can sell the part, make money on both ends, right? And then get some free parts for yourself. And at some point, when we moved into our middle shop, which I'll call, which was like the one in Saginaw, 4,000 square foot.
Not
you were
the
there.
one you guys got kicked out of.
The one we got kicked out of.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
I don't think I was ever at that one.
Did you not? Were you
No,
not there for
I
that?
was never there for that.
For some reason, I imagine you being there.
Skipped right over that one. I don't think I was ever at a shop in Michigan.
Yeah, 'cause when
I
we
was
picked
never
you up, we
anywhere.
went
It was
right to the dunes and then we went
airport to
GR.
airport.
Yeah, yeah.
First class too, by the way. You're welcome.
You guys flew first class.
yeah. I flew
No, I thought we were in like Southwest. They don't have
the
first
It
class.
was,
French
it was
toast?
Delta, dude.
Do they even
was
have
Delta.
first class?
It was Delta. I've got him first class tickets. Anyway, we're
Hey, you
getting
took me
off
to
topic.
Flint, Michigan,
Whoa, it was
Detroit.
Detroit, dude. That's the big show.
and then we went to
International.
Flint.
We did go to Flint for some mud. Anyway.
Yeah, we
we
were
did
like
go
in
to
the
Flint.
mud in Flint. I was like, man, these guys
This
are
water.
wild. It's like right as it was happening,
Guys are wild, dude.
What's in the
I got
pipes here,
sprayed
dude?
with water. I was like, should I be holding my breath?
Dude, it cleans itself out there, dude. It's the mud pits plus the urethra or whatever they. I wouldn't worry about it too much.
All right, it's fine. Yeah.
Anyway,
So now you're in
I'll
the
just
big
get
shop.
through. I'll just get through the part that no one wants to hear. So we bought
What
the
are you
big shop.
talking about? Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm so full of food right now
Yeah.
too. Let's just take another segue quick. We had dinner and then we had
Yeah.
ice cream afterwards, and I am deadly full.
Killwins, and there was like a party there.
Oh, it was bad. I've been tooting and rooting. Anyway, so we got this new big shop, and then it's always more about completing the circle. So we have to have a spot to install the parts, right? So Matt is opening up a service shop in our middle building, which is going to be like, I don't know, 4,000 square foot of space that he's going to have for that. And he's like an actual certified master mechanic dude. And we sniped him from like an actual legit auto place.
Yeah, so he's
So-
actually qualified. But once
Yeah.
you start working
Yeah.
on YouTube, then you lose your qualifications. Isn't that how it works? Then you become like a stupid YouTuber. Shouldn't be
don't know.
working on vehicles.
It's going to be less
Yeah, I
YouTube on
see it.
this.
Yes, I see it.
It happens, you know. Like once you legally,
Legally, you know
You're a
nothing
hack
about
now.
nothing, dude.
I've always been a hack, so none of it's really different. I
yeah,
don't
nobody
know.
would want me working on anything they own.
Saw that Mustang. It was pretty cool. Anyway, so, and then we're opening up a powder coat shop too, because we get a lot of stuff that's raw, and then powder coating things sucks.
Yeah.
And there's no one around us that does big stuff. So we have 2 giant ovens, and then, yeah, we can do anything.
And Mike Reed is running that one.
Mike Reed's running that, yeah.
Okay, so he's taking over the powder side of things. Has he done any powder coating, or is he just diving into it head
He's,
first?
it's
Because
kinda-
Matt's like highly qualified.
right, and then is subsequently getting the less amount of effort, and then Mike's getting more. It's confusing how it's working out, but no, Mike's never powder coated a single thing in his life ever, but he was jacked on it, and you can sell us on anything.
He got me, dude. He got me big time.
He's like, oh yeah, lay the powder 2 mils, this and that. He's talking all this stuff like he's done it for 15 years. So we were in.
Yeah, this guy has to know what he's doing.
I mean, he's smart enough that I trust that he could obviously figure it out.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's like an insane learning curve on it.
Yeah.
Mike is super, like, the dude, he's very meticulous. You know, I think he'll pick up onto it super fast.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, then
We have a powder coat shop.
hire somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yeah, it would be no problem.
Be great to do regardless, I guess.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing. So we'll be able to, sell the parts. If they're raw parts, we can coat them, and then we'll have a spot to install them.
Mm-hmm.
And then if, that's what we're trying to do.
And then you have the dyno,
We got a dyno.
tuning of things.
Yeah, that's too difficult.
It's kind of more just flashing on a side-by-side anyways, though.
Yeah, there's people that dedicate their lives to tuning, so we just give that to them.
Yeah.
And then we'll just dyno stuff for fun.
Yeah, there's quite a few side-by-side tuners popping up, I've noticed.
Yeah, there's a lot. So we
becoming
deal
a
with
thing.
We deal with Evo, and they've been doing it since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Sport side by side. So
Have they touched the Honda Talons yet?
yeah, yeah.
They have started to.
Does your Honda Talon need to be touched?
I mean, she's down a hole, like intermittently, but so intermittently that it's pretty much permanently down a hole.
It's so
yeah. Have you been able to start that? I think.
I
the
mean,
last
it'll
time I saw
start
you-
and run,
Uh-huh.
but it's just on one cylinder. Sounds like a dang Predator generator.
pretty much what it is
Yeah,
if you think
those are
about it.
I mean, it's not far off.
They're all the same base, dude.
Very similar. It's like you put a transmission on a Predator.
Got it. We should
But-
just take that back with us.
That would be ideal. I think it has a harness issue, like a wiring harness issue, which is a mess to track down.
Impossible, perhaps.
Pretty much. It's pretty much like just put a new harness in there, and the screen has been underwater about a half a dozen times.
Right.
But it's kind of nice because the screens are warranted. So I've had 3 new screens put in, 0 miles every time you get a new one in.
How would
Are you serious?
Every time under warranty from like a legitimate from Honda. They just put a new one in there. And oh, here's your 0 mile unit.
we don't. There's not even a title for that. How do you have a warranty?
I don't know.
I don't want to bring this up. Maybe this is an offline talk.
I
but
don't know. I've had people try to buy it, and I'm like, I ain't selling it. I can't.
There's no, Honda took all our stuff back, and then one of those things they wanted was yours because the guy who made the deal with us quit Honda.
Jump ship.
Jump ship.
Does
dude.
he work anywhere else now? You guys follow him somewhere else? Does he
Ben
work
Hong,
there?
where's he at? Where you at, Ben? Come on.
That is a good question.
I don't know. I mean,
First was on
usually you
face.
don't go too far. Like if
that's
you're
a good
in the
point.
off-road world, you
He's marketing, so. who
he
knows?
could be anywhere.
Going anywhere, dude.
Could be out there selling freaking Predator generators.
Maybe vapes, dude. You ever
no.
been to sidebysidevape.com?
You ever been to that site?
You think they cut him because he gave away too many Hondas and lost track of them?
100%.
Well, I mean,
No, that's
hear
not true.
me out,
I
though.
actually know what actually.
You've
happened.
lost 24 Talons.
What happened? Are
Well,
we
they
talk-
I don't know how much you want
Honda or-
to out the
we talking
guy.
about that?
Oh yeah, they like what happened?
Yeah,
Yeah, they were forcing people to move to Georgia. If you didn't,
Oh, you're done.
you're done.
That makes sense.
It was
So
pretty straightforward.
was he in Michigan?
No, they were in California.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I was gonna say, I mean, it's not that bad of a move from Michigan to Georgia, but
You ever been to Georgia?
Yeah.
been to Georgia quite a few times. The weather, great. I'm convinced that has some of the best weather in the country.
Have
Really?
you ever lived in California and then thought that about Georgia?
No, I haven't lived in California, but I can imagine that has good weather.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say.
Is
yeah.
Honda pretty much done with side by sides?
They
No,
had
they're still.
They had this thing.
But like, are they gonna upgrade it? Like, it's been
No.
what, 5 years?
They did this thing when we were there. That their philosophy was
It's about time for a refresh.
it was tiny hammers.
Tiny hammers.
But like, there's still no refresh on it.
They refreshed it.
I mean,
did you see that new grill, dude? That thing looks like straight out of X-Men, dude.
They put a
Bold
freaking
new
new grill
graphics,
on it.
dude.
All right.
I think the new grill and lights are sweet, but
Well,
I
they
get,
made-
Hey, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I feel like how many, Polarises came out in that time
Yeah.
since the
But
Talon?
they
2,
feel
3,
like
yeah.
A lot of these, a lot of these Japanese-based manufacturers, okay, they give you a product, and then they slowly work on it.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny hammers.
Slowly work on it, and they just try to make it as good as they can. But also, is as safe as they can in a way that you can't sue them. That's their main goal.
That's Honda, dude. 3-wheelers, bro.
Yeah.
They're still scared.
They're still scared. Like the Honda 3-wheeler thing turns out was a serious issue for.
Oh, I'm sure
Honda.
they're still pretty
Yeah.
scarred from that one.
Yeah,
But
right
those 3-wheelers are so sought after now.
Yeah, and
They're worth a lot of money. Like a
tell me
nice,
about it.
clean 3-wheeler.
Literally, almost Honda almost pulled out of the United States because of the 3-wheelers.
They
Like,
almost
that's
ruined a
that big.
generation of children.
Yes. Think about all the Civics you wouldn't see rolling down the street throwing the pipes, dude.
Not in this neighborhood.
Would it
They
be
stopped them at
Kias
the
now,
gate.
dude? Oh my gosh. Dude.
Is that what that guy was doing out there?
Yeah, I was stopping Civics. Like, sorry, bud.
The dude in the Mustang?
He was up on my butt,
The dude in the
dude.
Mustang was throwing the pipes too. I'm like, what is this, a throw the pipe club?
Well, you guys brought out that freaking clown car looking thing.
What do you
The
mean?
clown shoe.
What clown shoe?
The car that you rented.
She's a fast boot.
Wait, you're calling my
call-
AMG
whoa.
GT a clown shoe?
That's what they look like. They're like that long nose, and then the shoe. They look like a shoe.
I've never made a single catfish reference ever about his Camaro ever.
It's a rental.
I'm taking it personally, dude. It's mine for the time.
He chose it, dude.
rental.
He chose it.
Yeah,
It's not like I had a choice.
yeah, but you wouldn't.
This is what I got, dude.
You know, you probably wouldn't buy that if you're given the choice.
I was
I don't want to buy that.
I don't know. I think they're like 90 grand. I
Yeah,
don't-
they're
We're
lower
talking
now.
about an AMG GT.
GTS.
You know, GTS.
This is a GTS, dude.
You can get them for like 70,000 now, dude.
Yeah.
I could trade in my truck and probably pay some money and get that.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be your best move. Wouldn't be
far
your,
from it.
You wouldn't
Far from it. There's no
for,
back
for that
seats.
money. It would not be your favorite vehicle you could buy. You could go buy a 911 and be way happier.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, don't listen to this guy.
Bang for your buck. I
Bang
don't
for
think
your
that
buck.
car is
Hear
it.
me out, dude. Do you
Even
spend
close.
a lot of your day just like thinking about cars that you should get?
I guarantee he does.
Tell me about
a good bit.
your thought process on
It's
like
it's
you
not.
see a car and then you're mesmerized by it for hours at a time, and then you're like, man, how do I get that car?
I really just like to keep up on the market and know where things are kind of at. Like, you know, kind of know the price of those things. I just
Yeah.
like to check in on like
Yeah.
what cars are
they still
depreciating.
affordable?
Yeah.
I was like, what cars are depreciating a lot and which ones aren't. Turns out those cars kind of depreciated a little heavily. They've almost like disappeared into the mist in a way.
Pretty weird, isn't it?
They really did just like slip away.
Yeah.
Because if they put gold wing doors on them, they probably wouldn't have.
That's a good
That's
point.
too expensive,
That's honestly
dude.
a good
Would have
point.
been great. The gold wing doors make it fun because then you have explosives too. Because if you're rolled over, the
They
doors
blow up open.
The doors blow open.
I didn't know that. So the
Yeah.
SLS AMG has that?
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
Wow.
they had explosives to the doors.
Okay.
But let's talk about side by sides a little bit here.
Okay.
Okay.
Are they ever gonna stop getting more expensive?
No.
Negative.
Are they
Never.
just planning like? Are they gonna come out with one that's 60 grand and just be like, "Here's the new one.
Probably-
you guys are gonna love
Probably
it."
in October.
Just
Can-Am will have a $60,000 side by side. Yeah.
Because I know that they do like the battle of who can build the better one.
Yeah.
Is it also who can build the more expensive one?
Who could push the envelope so we can then continue to keep pushing the envelope just in the price?
Yeah. So right now, this is
Yeah.
Polaris. This is Can-Am. They're like coming. So the price of the Can-Ams is where the Polaris is, but the machines suck compared to the Polaris. So, but Can-Am's about
This
to go.
is an old
"Eh."
unit, right? So they can't charge this much. So
Yeah.
they're coming out
No,
with a
they
new
still
unit.
charge that much.
Yeah, but not quite this much.
Dude, they put a
Yeah.
P clutch. They could raise it 10 grand now.
The P clutch is
P-clutch
sweet.
is cool.
Is it worth 10 grand? Or?
Can you
Nick
just
said
put
shove
one
it up your
on
butt.
one of the other? Can you like downgrade your P clutch onto like a 2020?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so you could just buy one from Can-Am and just put it on your.
$940 shipped. Boom.
It's not
Bolted
that
on.
bad. You
Yeah,
can
cheap.
buy it at sidebysideblog.com.
No.
Parts.
That'd be sweet.
We should sell those.
Just buy some. Buy them all. Because they probably can't make them that fast.
Some people do that, and then they charge $100 more. and they make
I've
thousands
seen
of dollars.
I've seen them do that with OEM GM parts.
Yeah.
Pretty frequently, and they'll even buy them before they're even like made. So
How does that happen?
Pre-buy? How do you
yeah,
do that?
they'll pre-buy if you're buying big enough from like GM like blowers or something like that.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
sham, dude.
Like the newer style gen blowers.
Anything LT4, LSA, you know, you buy them from GM. GM will happily take your money. Tell you we'll have them in 6 months, and then you're the only guy in the game.
Wow.
You can do that with P clutches.
That's it. Some people have already done that.
Yeah.
We know those people.
Put clutch, dude.
But clutch, it's just not enough money. It's too much hassle, not enough money.
Yeah,
There's,
we have the
uh,
storage room.
There's
Yeah.
this dude that told me a while back. It was a funny story, and he was bringing up. We were talking, and this was before everything went past like the 35 mark, right? So like the 35 mark now is
Yeah.
35 grand.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like nothing really. Like, you know, if you
that's
want
the
a
beginning.
Pro R 4-seater Ultimate, you're just, I mean, I think now it's like 50,000.
Yeah.
But it's like 49.90 or whatever. But I remember years ago he told me, he's like, you know, they're developing this machine and blah blah blah, and he's like, you know, they're talking about like, you know, like they're starting to be more automotive in a sense, especially like HVAC systems and all that. But he was telling me, he's like, a dude will go out and buy a $40,000 side by side, okay, and then just drive it through a ditch, okay. But somebody
I know that
just
guy.
go buy a $40,000 truck, right, and they can't even park it in the grass. Like the association between the two is not there. Like so, he's basically trying to tell me you can charge whatever, people are gonna buy it and
just
drive it through a ditch.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I think they're more likely to give loans on stuff like that. I feel like
don't
it's not that
understand.
hard
Yeah,
to get
I
a
don't know
loan
how
on a
that's-
side by side.
Yeah.
I
But
have
like,
3 loans for side-by-sides right now.
but a truck loan is not easy to get.
No,
Like
it's
through
not.
like GM Financial or something. Like
Yeah.
they're tough. They make you jump through hoops.
Yeah.
Like a business loan, forget it. You go
Yeah.
buy a $50,000 side by side, sign here.
But
Yeah,
it's
no
still
problem.
like, that's what I mean. It's like, it's so weird that how a $50,000 thing is still considered a toy when generally they're, you know, more expensive than the car you're driving.
Yeah, sometimes the truck towing it is cheaper than the side-by-side
Yeah.
itself. Like, it's just very weird.
Yeah, and they treat the truck nicer.
Right.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing, and I just don't know where the ceiling is. Like, where are people just gonna like? Where are they gonna price people out of the sport? Because cars, like even sports cars, have relatively stayed like similar price in the last 10
Yeah.
years. They haven't just like doubled in
Yeah.
a sense.
Yeah.
But I guess like so like the one we were talking about, it's top of the line, highest one you can get. You know, you can still get entry level ones that do just as, like you'll have, you know, as much fun with it as you would with the. Maybe you'd have more fun because you don't care about it as much.
Yeah, sometimes the cheaper stuff is more fun.
Yeah, like you get like a gator.
I don't know about a gator level, but like the lower end razors,
Yeah.
like just like a regular
Like
XP
just a regular
1000.
XP, dude. Like,
Are you
nice
gonna
so
have?
fun.
Man, don't they break a lot?
Not
No,
really.
not too
no.
much. They're pretty
Okay.
stout.
Yeah.
Like
I-
mine got blown out because I blew it out.
You were hard on
yeah,
that thing.
like it started to fall apart after 3.5 years of zero maintenance. Like
No way.
it'll go downtown,
Wow.
brother.
Who saw that coming?
Doug, apparently,
Everyone
I didn't
saw
see it. I'm
that
like,
coming.
there's no way this thing is gonna stop working. Oh, it stopped. It stopped.
Doug saw it coming.
It was to the point where his clutch locked up. And so in a CVT, if you don't understand that, basically it locks in. So if the clutch locks, right, it just keeps going unless you put it in neutral. So he would try to stop. And it would just keep going, like chugging along. Like if you had a manual
Just like
and just pop
forcing
the clutch.
through the clutch.
Yes,
Just like
it was very bad.
nice.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how you
You
gotta
had
do
to
it.
push it up onto a hill to
Yeah.
get it in neutral.
What was that,
Park
110?
on hills, dude. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
110.
110, dude. I saw
was
that
good,
thing
wasn't it?
fly quite a few
That
times.
was tight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When we were out in Glamis, though, you had a bad time with it.
No, that was 168. You saw me at a bet. Yeah, that was my freaking Turbo S. I kept overheating and overheating and overheating.
Yeah, you were having a bad day that day. I felt bad.
Yeah, that sucked. But how great of a time was that? That was super fun.
Glamis
wasn't it?
round one was awesome.
Glamis is always great.
Yeah.
That's
Free
that
Honda Talon,
place
like-
is
Yeah.
so good. Yeah.
Did you see that coming?
No.
Well,
Didn't.
what did you think about? Like, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
we go from like these dudes randomly picking me up in an airport, not molesting me, to we're giving you a freaking.
Like
I
2
never
months
said I
later.
didn't want to be molested.
That's fair.
I never said I was against it. It's just like, is this what's gonna happen? Well, dude, I just couldn't believe that. I mean, that was unreal and insane. And I'm not a very good receiver of gifts or of gratitude or of anything, I guess, compliments, anything like that. So I kind of don't really know what to do. So even like now, I kind of still like shell up, and I'm like, I don't know how to show emotion in any way, I guess you could say.
Maybe
On the
just like
spectrum
walk,
somewhere.
walk through your mental state at that time, though. That's what I want to know, because it's your birthday. You're going out to Glamis.
Yeah.
You're with this Cletus. crew
Never
of
been to the
weird
sand
people.
dunes. We meet this guy Spencer,
Yeah.
and then
that was the
we
first time you met Spencer?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
No fool.
I don't even know where he came from.
Yeah,
Who
that's-
knows?
Still
He
don't.
came from the sand. Like the guy pulled himself out of the dirt.
Still
Yeah.
don't. And he's like, I've been to Glamis a bunch of times, and I'm like, okay, cool. I guess we're riding
He
together.
would say that.
Yeah. And dude, I was just like, I don't know. I was in a weird spot because like I was perfectly happy with my course of like I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like sit in a vehicle and
Yeah.
ride through the sand dunes. Like, this is fine. Like, I'm perfectly happy with this. And then to actually have a unit to ride and thrash on was awesome, but also was kind of scary in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Because now I'm like, I went from being like passenger and like no, not a care in the world to like, oh man, there's a lot of pressure now. Like I gotta keep up with these guys.
Yeah.
I gotta send it out here on the sand dunes. I gotta potentially roll this thing just to fit in.
I don't know about that. You did so good.
Yeah,
though.
you did so good. Like,
Well, that's good
Some
to
people
hear.
do a lot worse than
Yeah.
that.
It was
like, you
definitely
knew when to hold them, and you knew when to fold them. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
seriously.
you were smart. That was smart driving.
I had never been to a sand dune either.
Yeah, right.
Even with stock headlights too. Remember,
Yeah.
I remember
Oh,
looking
man.
back a couple times. There's just two little yellow beams. I'm like, how is this dude seeing anything right now?
And I wasn't like too deep in the off-road world to begin with, so you guys were
Yeah.
like, "Man, you have stock headlights." Like, I was like, "Oh, I didn't even realize like that was a flaw." Like, I was like, "They're pretty good headlights, you know? Like a car, you wouldn't be like, oh, you just have stock headlights."
I mean, yeah, I guess
Right,
it's
good
compared to
point.
a car, but
that's how I was
Yeah.
thinking. I was like, "Oh, it's just headlights. It doesn't really have high beams or anything. It's kind of
Yeah.
just get what you get."
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, it was pretty scary. And I had Spencer, who I had never met. He was riding with me, and he was just like, left, right, like trying to like guide me. And we're just like wide open throttle because you couldn't go slow because you wouldn't make it over the dunes,
Yeah. Right.
and you would lose everyone.
Yep.
yeah.
But going fast into these blind dunes is terrifying
It is
when you have no
terrifying.
idea.
Yeah.
And I think our first ride was night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, we really gave it to you, dude. Oh my gosh,
Super
I'm sorry.
bad.
Thrown to the
Hindsight.
snake pit.
Yeah. Hindsight on that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We got briefly lost, but we were able to recover it,
Yeah.
thankfully. But yeah, I mean, it was great. I'm a big advocate for getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And that was definitely fully out of the comfort zone.
Perfect.
You sort of have to like, crack the shell. Just like once you
Rip the
get
Band-Aid off.
Yeah, rip the Band-Aid off,
Yeah.
especially at that place. Because you have to put a level of trust in a machine that you don't know if you trust or not, and you also don't know if you trust the dunes. But like once you get there, like you're you're just
floor it.
surfing, dude. You're just
Yeah.
shredding the nard.
It's the best riding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the best riding.
It really is. The sand dunes are great. And I like Glamis because there's no water around. So I
Oh,
won't
Yeah, you have problems with that.
bury my machine
Yeah.
10 feet deep underwater.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I really,
Yeah.
I don't know. I get all like jittery around water. I'm like, man, it'd be a real shame if somebody put a side by side in that pond.
Oh my gosh.
That when you okay, so your water history is simple. You take our RS1, you swamp it
Yeah.
immediately.
Swamped.
You get the Talon to Michigan the next year. You go into the deepest hole in the entire sand dunes, and I watch you almost die in front of me, and the one croc remains.
Yeah.
I know. Well, the guy messaged me that he found it, and I tried to get it back from him. Just ghosted me. I don't know if he kept it.
Oh, he
I mean,
kept it.
I
He
doubt
never
anybody
found
bought
it.
it off
I don't
eBay. Like,
Did you ever look?
I never looked.
You never know, dude.
That'd be sick if it was. I would buy it.
I would buy.
I would have bought it too. I mean, I would have paid him for it if he just offered. You
Right.
know, maybe like a little bit. I would have paid for shipping at least.
Didn't he send you a picture of it too?
Yeah, he had it.
It's the actual croc.
It's just weird that like I never got it. What was he doing with it?
I don't know. Smelling it maybe.
Yeah, have
But
a
yeah,
hot day.
so your Talon was also flooded the same day the RS1 was flooded.
Oh yeah, you remember when we lifted
had to
it,
lift
up?
it up.
Yeah.
How did we do that? Someone
had it-
put it in the water.
Yeah, it was one of the guys put it in
Yeah.
the water. Yep. And then so that happened, and then the next year, it was honestly because those tires were very buoyant. If you watch back the video, like the
porpoises.
tires just start to
Yeah.
like float up,
Mm-hmm.
and I had never ran tires like that before. Like my mud tires are very heavy and just like thick rubber, so they're probably not as buoyant. But yeah, it was a bad deal. Probably shouldn't have done that. Probably why it's not running right now.
That was so weird
That
because
was.
I was just I have a head cam on GoPro and I see you going for it and I know this is a deep hole.
deep hole.
But I think also too, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like in my head, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, he's got it, dude. He's got snorks. He's good. And then it just goes, and then the panic sets in. Garrett's right there, and I'm like, I'll just video it, I guess. You were out quick though. Like
I
you-
had
it
the
was no
snorkel
problem.
for it, but
Yeah.
the buoyancy was against me.
Yeah.
The snorkel would have gotten me through.
It porpoised.
Yeah. That's what got me.
I mean, that
scary.
was a sight to see. It's definitely one of the weirder things I've ever seen.
It was a cool video for sure. That clip, and being in a helmet and then coming up and having water in your helmet still
Never done that.
is a weird thing because you're out of the water but you're still drowning.
Yeah.
So it's like, and the
We
water
should try
the
it.
water chased me.
Yeah, seriously. You brought it with you back out.
Still on fire.
Because you had like a street helmet on, right?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, man. Dude, Race Quip's got to put some snorkel hookups on there.
Drowning in the race quip.
That
Then
was
you gotta
wild.
soak in the helmet.
And didn't you then roll it again trying to water skip too?
I did.
Was that same trip?
Yeah.
Oh, my
Was it really?
That was a rough time on the talent.
It was skating across the water really good.
Then just
and then it
immediate
just
right-hander.
like kicked and hit like I don't know if it caught traction in one spot, like it hit a little sandbar. But yeah, I mean, nobody can say I didn't try my best out there
Sent it.
to do something cool.
Yeah.
I don't jump like you guys do because I know that doesn't sit well with me, the high jumps.
Sure.
I know you're a big jump guy. I will happily go in the water though and mud and nipple deep. But the jumping, I don't know how you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Man, the biggest thing for me, I guess, just real quick, is I was so surprised how much you guys liked mud.
Yeah.
Before meeting you, like I didn't.
Super weird.
I guess I didn't know what you guys,
It is Florida.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know like Florida's big. That was probably like 5 years ago or something like that. I'm like, I guess I didn't know as much, but
I didn't know how enjoyable mud was until the side-by-side stuff, though.
okay.
Yeah, they're so good in the mud.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and you're not going as fast. It's a
Right.
little bit more like tactical and like slow moving. You drink large amounts of alcohol and party more
We
instead
don't
of
do that. So when we went with you, we did that,
yeah.
and then I made a lot of bad choices.
Yeah, it gets wild out there.
Yeah.
Alcohol and side-by-sides, because like down here in Florida, we have these redneck yacht clubs, they're called.
Yeah.
And for people in not Florida don't understand, it's just a mud pit of just debauchery.
It's bad.
It's insanity. But they bring a lot of people. They're good events. They
Yeah,
put
a lot
on a
of
good
people.
show. They put on a good show. So that kind of brings me to something. So side-by-side bucket lists. What are trips guy owns a side-by-side.
Sure.
What are the places in the U.S. that would be on your bucket list to go to and ride?
Moab, number one.
Moab is pretty nuts. It is, because the riding is next level. Okay, and then you're in this what feels like a magical place. Pretty much anywhere you look around you is just
The best view.
the best view you've ever seen. It's like what you would see in a picture, like in somebody's living room. But like, yeah, being in a place with unlimited traction and you're just working off more of technique
Yeah.
is very weird.
That's
'Cause
the
it's
weird
mostly
thing
just
about
rocks,
Moab.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's sandstone.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, 60 grit,
Yeah.
50 grit, 40 grit, somewhere in there.
So just endless traction.
Endless traction, and it barely ever gets wet. Like, there's these hot tub things that exist on one of the trails that are just giant, like, tubs.
Yeah.
And they get water in them, so getting out of that's pretty hard. But the other stuff that goes on in there, it's just immediate traction. All the climbs have full traction, and it really makes you understand how capable your side-by-side is. That's probably the biggest thing.
Like three-wheeling them through like spots where you're like, this thing won't make it.
Yeah, some of the angles
Yeah.
you're on and the climbs
Yeah.
and that stuff, I think it really highlights how good stuff has gotten. So if you have like a newer modern, like let's say 14 and up, like sport side-by-side, it will dominate Moab, and you'll feel like a god out there.
Is that mostly just because of like the locking diff technology and stuff? Does
Just
that
the
kind of take
traction.
a big
Yeah,
point?
the traction. But yeah, like they're just all very capable.
Okay,
Like,
so
they're-
Moab,
you get to
top on the
utilize
list.
everything.
Yeah, I think it's an easy one too to go there as an amateur and do good, because
Yeah.
like the variation of trails goes from like very mild to super wild, whereas like a Glamis, you go out there as an amateur, it's badass riding, but as you know, unless you have someone you're following or someone that knows the area,
Yeah.
you could go into a hole and you're actually just gonna die.
Yeah.
And if you go out there for like Camp Razor, I mean, a lot of people get hurt being amateurs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm
A lot
pretty
of
sure
people.
there's like I mean, I would say on a nightly basis, someone is helicoptered out of there. But I think like on average, there's like 5 people in an event that die or something. Like it's something terrible. But yeah, you have to really be careful. But Glamis is like incredible. It's just you have to really, you got to really respect that place. Like I said, you got to know what you're doing and then trust your machine and then trust the people that you're with too. But even there, like the small dunes, even the first time we went, we had a bad time.
Yeah, we just drove over everything. We didn't try to carve. We didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
We just found a spot on the map and then literally as the crow flies
Just
went.
straight.
Just try to straight drive it, yeah.
And nothing broke, which was
Yeah.
mind-blowing.
So you were just like going over blind hills.
Yeah.
Which
which
are
are,
no idea
peaks.
what's on the other side. And they're sketchy on the other side.
Super
more
sketchy.
often than not.
Yeah.
Yeah, once we got a hang of it, like that place is still like at the top of my list. So I would say Glamis is
Yeah.
up there for someone who's never been riding. Another place for people on the East Coast of the country.
Is it Duneland?
What is that place? I mean,
Get your STU paddles at Duneland.
Get yourself a stick, dude. Hey, go pick out any
do you have
color.
a sticker up here? Do you have a Duneland sticker anywhere?
I have one on the door when you walk in.
Seriously? Duneland goes hard. They really like you guys.
They really like you.
They
Good
like
people.
you a lot. Like you specifically.
Oh, man.
No one else in the room, just you.
I told you, man, I'm always a chance of getting molested.
It's the hair, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Gets me every time.
What were you going to say, though? West Virginia?
Yeah, West Virginia. I mean, just endless amounts of riding. It's pretty much some of the best riding you can do.
Yep.
Just riding mountains. There's pretty much, if you want fast trails, slow trails, rock crawling, mountain climbing, whatever you want, it's there. It's nuts.
The views aren't as good as Moab, though.
Yeah.
Like, Moab is, even if you're just driving through the town just for fun, looking around, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is crazy. But
Yeah, our
West
house
Virginia,
was under a mountain. It was
yeah.
sweet.
going through the town in West Virginia, you're like, get me out of here.
We saw this.
Well, Moab
lady.
is like a very just different world almost. Like
Yeah.
it probably feels like
Yeah.
you're on Mars when you're out there.
Yep.
Just nothing around and just rocks
Yeah.
and like some cactus.
Yeah, one time we
it's just
went, it
like a lot of
was
rocks.
freezing.
Oh yeah,
rocks.
one time we went after Glamis and it was like a high of 31 degrees, snowing, dude. It was
Not
terrible.
good.
It was
Horrible.
terrible.
The winds cut through those freaking
Yeah.
plains there.
Yeah.
Okay, so those three, the mountaineering trips seem like a good one.
Oh yeah, where we're doing. Okay, so
Oh,
we
the
call it
orient-
snow orienteering, but orienteering, we have a snow orienteering.
Yeah.
Those are just more of just a shit show.
Yeah, those seem
Really?
like fun. Like if you were to put together like a bucket list of things to do with
Mm-hmm.
a side by side,
Yeah.
something like that seems like it would be on there.
Yeah, 'cause
You
a
gotta
lot
be
of-
prepared,
Yeah,
though.
you got to be prepared. But a lot of people build their cars, to be like sort of like overlander kind of builds, like
Yep.
where they're set up for that.
And you put like a tent on the roof that folds
Yeah,
out or
yeah.
something.
Yep.
That would be awesome.
If you were prepared like that, that'd be super sweet. Like if you go out when it's negative 18 degrees,
Well, that's how the homeless people that live in their Tacomas do that.
Yeah, that's
You know.
They're homeless?
Well, I mean, kind of.
They got a Tacoma,
by,
dude.
by definition. Those people that just overland their whole life.
Is that what they do?
A taco
I don't know
boy.
anything about this.
The
I know, like,
overlanding guys that
But they
just
live
like
in the trucks?
Yeah, that's
yeah, it's like
they
full
don't.
time,
But
dude. It's like
most-
living in a van. It's like fancy van living.
Full-time overlander,
Gosh,
baby.
Coop, dude.
I'm pretty sure there are plenty of people out there that are full time overlanders and don't realize that they're actually just homeless, fancy homeless.
I've not put thought into that, but you're damn right. They have the Whittle Wada leading to the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my gosh.
It's just fancy homelessness.
I think those trucks are cool. It's just kind of weird that people build them and don't ever use them, or they like park up on like a rock at a park and take a picture. Mm-hmm. Like,
They're very cool and they have really awesome build into them.
Yeah.
And then there's the Fords that they build. What are they called? The Ford F-250s that are tow ready. But
Oh, yeah. Cody
the
has
Overlander units.
set up like that.
I saw one
Yeah.
recently. They build them out in Colorado. Those things are pretty sick.
Yeah.
yeah, those things are nuts.
It looks like a lot of weight to try to overland with.
I just don't understand that the camper shell thing in the back.
It's like
just
take
too
your
much.
25,000 pound truck and go do whatever with it.
Yeah, like a camper thing on the back. Like the good ones begin at 40 grand.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of money for whatever that ends up being. Like 80
I would
square feet.
I would say on the bucket list thing too, River Ranch. I know it's kind of closed
Well,
off.
for Doug,
Yeah.
Can't do it no more. He's banned.
Unless he's changes his name, like
Blood-
Bud Duggerfield.
Butterfield.
Bud Duggerfield.
Why have we never thought of that name for him? Bud Duggerfield.
Butterfield.
Out of all the stupid shit I've called Doug over the years, Bud Duggerfield's never come out.
Kind of fits.
Yeah.
That's a
He
big
could
one.
be a Bud, like
Oh, he is a Bud.
Hey,
dude.
especially like when he's like 80 with the same hairdo.
Yeah.
Definitely like Bud.
Hey, bud.
Hey, Bud.
Do you
Yeah.
still have property at the ranch?
I still have a deed, but I would just have to renew it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So what do you mean?
Like
How does
you-
that work?
I guess like every couple of years you have to renew it.
So you
But,
still
like-
have like the access to it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still, I guess I don't know how it works fully,
Property
but
owner
yeah, I
or
still
whatever.
technically have the ability to just renew it
Hmm.
because I'm already in there. But that place is unreal.
River Ranch is, I don't know, it seemed pretty real to me. And then we just drove across the little pond that everyone else was driving across, and then the whole world caught
All
on
of a
fire.
sudden, dude, we're the bad guys.
J.H. Diesel's in a friggin' backroom meeting with these people, dude.
Yeah, so I feel like people don't even know what happened there.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
I don't know if you guys even know what happened there.
I don't know what
I have a
happened.
general idea of what happened. We had fun. A video went viral of Doug going into this river.
Well, it's viral. How big was it?
It got shared a bunch.
It got
on
shared a
like,
whole bunch,
Yeah,
yeah.
on Instagram on like a separate thing. I don't know if it was like UTV fails or like.
It was on UTV fails.
Oh, that'll
You know,
do it.
That people will see that. What happened, right, is the car at that time the clutching wasn't correct, so it would go into limp mode, and
Touch the rev
unfortunately,
limiter
as
and then,
soon as he got to like speed, it went into limp mode because it was trying to skim a canal.
Yeah. Saw
Goes
that.
into limp mode and just skims and sinks.
Sinks right to the bottom of the canal.
Okay.
And then he puts it in reverse and gets out, and it's great. Everything's fine.
No problem.
That makes its way to the internet. Internet grabs hold of it, goes on fire. They realize it's River Ranch. The River Ranch Association gets pissed and calls JH.
Calls JH because I guess he's a governor at River
I
Ranch.
guess they have contact to JH right away. Just a direct line to him.
Yeah, yeah. 1-800-JH Diesel. But I
Because
guess
he's not hard to find.
that's a good point. That guy's easy to find. I heard someone talk about him in the bathroom at a bar one time. Like that's how this guy's like a local legend around
Local
here.
legend, national treasure, JH Diesel.
Yeah, quick tangent. So I was telling you I got rid of my 2 roosters.
Yeah.
So I found this guy on Craigslist, reached out to him. He was like, okay, yeah, just bring them by. I'll
Justin
take the
Hildebrand?
roosters. No, it's just
Oh.
this guy like an hour north of here. Find this guy on Craigslist, like, I'll take any livestock, was his like Craigslist ad, like real shady.
That's weird.
Again, I thought I was putting myself into a get molested situation.
Yep, right.
So I drive like an
Seems
hour
kind of
away
exciting.
from here with 2 roosters, cock in hand. I walk back to his backyard and he like takes me like, we're like in a neighborhood and he's like, oh yeah, this way. And then like from this neighborhood, somehow his backyard is just like through the woods. And we're just like, I'm following this guy through the woods.
Sounds
and
like
then,
Danny Duncan.
and then we get to like this shady little spot that he has where he's got a bunch of chickens and he's like, oh yeah, put them in here. But lo and behold, I talked to this guy for probably about 20 minutes after I'm backing up close to my truck, trying to leave, and he's
Yeah,
still
one of those
talking.
guys.
And he's like, oh, you came from Bradenton? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you know that guy J.H. Diesel? He goes, I hate that guy.
Come on, dude.
I was like, oh, we're talking about the same guy. Yep.
If there was another JH Diesel, I would not be surprised.
But he also said, I haven't seen him in 10 years. I was like, so you haven't seen him in 10 years, and that's the first guy you bring up about Bradenton, and that you still don't like him.
Wow.
Like, gotta let it go, man.
He leaves an impression, dude.
Something
Big
went down
impression.
there, brother. Him and his roosters are not happy.
No, my rooster is one of them. Sanders still out there kicking, I'm sure.
Sanders, dude, our
Like the
dealer
Colonel?
forever.
Yeah, it was a little white one too. It was like a quintessential looking rooster.
Really.
Do you have a bow tie on him and then pretend that it's his entire body? You don't
could've-
understand the KFC
You
logo?
could have had a bow tie on him. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I thought it was his body the
so-
whole time. It's a bow tie. Anyway,
Outside the U.S. riding, does a lot of side-by-siding happen
dude,
outside
yeah.
the confines of the U.S.?
So
North America. I feel like it's the biggest division, but I feel like maybe like the Middle East or something has bought more.
I don't know.
These guys have some money.
So I'm sure they do, but they go right to the sand cars because sand cars are so baller, right? And they make big sounds.
Yeah, you get like
can
a
do wheelies
Funko
and
for like
stuff.
$500,000.
Right. But what's an interesting spot that we haven't gone to yet in a riding, we've done it in a racing thing, is Baja, California. So Mexico, south of the California
Baja
border.
Peninsula.
Yeah,
Baja
Baja Peninsula. Yeah, like there is tours that go on down there. They go through some shady areas. You got to have like a local guide with you. But the riding is apparently next level. We haven't done that yet because it seems sketchy.
Does seem. I think now more than ever has been.
Cartels and
I think they
all
said
these
do not
things.
travel all of Mexico like last week.
Really?
Really?
I think so.
I
Like,
love Mexico.
yeah, there was like a do not travel warning, but Baja would be on the list.
Yeah.
But that would be a
place is
bring your own. But like, if you
Yeah.
were to go outside the U.S., is there any big riding places? Like anything, I don't know, in like the Middle East or Australia or
New Zealand's got some cool spots.
do they?
Yeah, we have some fans out there. They send me some stuff. Like New Zealand's got a lot of interesting, like grassy, hilly, like Irish hill kind of stuff. where
Yeah.
people just do some crazy tracks and crazy jumps. There's some race teams out there that do some really cool stuff out of that area. But the car scene in New Zealand's huge too.
Yeah, they got a great car scene. I guess I just because cars are so worldwide, but you don't really think
Yeah.
of side by sides as being so worldwide as that because they're such like it is a very niche thing.
Yeah.
But it's also a growing market. But also, I feel like they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot by making them so expensive because you're
Yeah.
gonna stomp on your own growth of a market.
Well, they still
Yeah.
have cheap ones
Yeah.
though. And the cheap ones are getting better and better.
Yeah.
Like so the good ones of 10 years ago, like the best thing you could get is now the cheap one. So it's not as if it sucks.
Right.
It's like a C5 Z06. Still a great car. It's pretty cheap,
Yeah,
right? But it ain't no C8 Z06.
yeah, that makes sense. And I bet there's a lot more mods available for the older ones.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
That's a
And
huge
really
part of it, too.
customize
Yeah,
them.
That's a huge part of it too. Like the aftermarket is huge part of the industry.
Yeah, that's
Like you could take a 10-year-old machine and make it as good as a new machine to a point.
yeah. I
you
think like compared to cars, like the aftermarket availability for side by sides is probably higher than the cars, like per the amount of machines that are out there. Obviously, there's way more aftermarket car companies.
Yeah, there's so little machines too, though.
Yeah,
like there's
and there's
only
so many
3
companies.
brands really that you're
Yeah.
gonna buy a machine from.
and like maybe 6 or 7 different submodels.
Yeah,
But the aftermarket support is crazy.
I mean, realistically, if somebody's gonna buy a side by side, they're probably only looking at 2 different ones if they're reasonable.
Yeah.
If they're unreasonable, they may be talking about like a KRX or a YXZ or
no.
something.
16 people just left the chat, dude, because of that.
They're
Unreal.
fuming right now.
I know. KRXs are cool. They're just not nice or fast.
You
or
don't know.
comfortable.
You don't know anything, dude.
What are you
Back
talking
to real
about?
quick, okay? I want to bring up another point too. Speaking of sand rails, a lot of these dudes, okay, especially in California, they are all like old sand rail dudes. Think of the money you'd have to put into any rail, like to change. What do you? Is there
I don't. There's a
a
giant.
demon on top of us?
I don't know
What
where
is
that
that
thing
thing?
came from.
Is that a June bug?
Like
Yeah, it's
a side by side price versus a real nice sand rail.
Yep.
Like you're not. It's like you're throwing pennies in a bucket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely different world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll spend as much on a transmission for a badass sand rail as you would for a pretty decent side by side.
But I remember the first time I saw a guy wheeling up China Dune,
Yep.
cigarette in mouth,
Yep.
because he didn't have a helmet on. Because I guess you don't have to wear a helmet when you're in a sand rail, but you have to on a side by side.
Unless it's a Pro R.
This
Unless
guy
it's a
was
Pro
just-
R, actually.
This guy was just bogging a cigarette, just wheeling this thing, and I was like, man, that guy's living life.
This is California.
Yeah, freedom only exists in California at the Glamis Sand
Yeah.
Dunes. Everywhere else,
Yeah.
oppression.
And when you're in a sand rail, because the rules for side by sides are a lot stricter.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, so the faster units you can just lawless.
Hey, the faster you go, the faster you go, brother.
It doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. Side by sides have a pretty bad history of being unsafe out of the box. I think manufacturers are really trying to change that. Like all the new Pro XP stuff and the Pro R stuff out of Polaris has super thick gauges. Like Heavy D rolled one at the Freedom Factory, smashed it into the wall, and he was fine.
Yeah.
That was almost a 3,000-pound machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
That
I
was a
saw
big
it.
unit.
I saw it happen.
Yeah.
It was definitely
That's a stock. That was a stock cage on
it
the
was
unit.
something.
Yeah.
It was,
Yes.
It's definitely
Yes.
something. There was something happening.
Didn't it
there.
get rolled also another time?
In the park, or in the
Yeah.
the lane behind the Freedom Factory.
Yeah, there was just
Hard on that thing.
no
She was
respect
hard.
Really
was
hard
given
on that
day
thing,
to
yeah.
It took a lot to bring that girl back to life.
Yeah, and then we gave it away to this guy, Clint, great dude, talked to
dude.
him all the time.
All the time.
It's like my hype man. And then he freaking rolls it and really crashes it. Yeah.
So you're really center.
That Pro R's.
So wait,
some stuff.
How many side-by-sides have you given away?
Let's see. Battlefield 1
crashed.
Oh my gosh,
at the Sandlot.
yeah.
No, I'm
At the
wondering how
Sandlot.
many have been crashed in this on the giveaways.
During the
At least
giveaways?
2.
Well, no,
after they've been given
Doug
away.
Never crashed it.
No, but after they've been given away.
Well,
After they've been given away. Oh,
Battlefield 1 took some hits. So at
took
the
some hits.
Sandlot,
It got rolled.
And then he sold
Immediately.
He sold it. Got totaled.
it.
like
co-parted.
Co-part, yeah.
like
We bought it back
tree
for
style.
$17,000. Horrible deal.
Terrible deal. Yeah, you're
Oh, we
probably
needed
bidding
it.
against
One
each
of
other.
the
on
worst
that one.
deals.
Yeah.
One of the worst deals, my man.
Yeah, then we sold it to this guy Brian, who's a mechanic for the Thunderbirds, which is out of Nellis, and he rips the shit out of Battlefield 1. Like, he goes all over the place with it.
Yeah. All right,
But
that's
also
good.
did roll it the first day.
Oh my god, he did roll it at Silver Lake.
Oh, dude, we take people, we throw them right to the wolves.
Yeah.
you
Wait,
were part
I'm
of
just
it.
curious how many side-by-sides have been given
Well, we
away
got
and
rid of
rolled.
the XP. That guy seems like he took very good care
Eric,
of that.
yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, I don't
but
think
you
he rolled it.
You did crash into that. Oh, you rolled that car.
I rolled it, and
He
I
hit a
crashed
tree.
into a Talon with it.
He crashed into a tree, rolled it, which was like the hardest hit that we've ever had to that day. And then
Side-by-sides roll. That is normal. It is fairly normal.
if you are driving them hard, yes.
I've
That day was
never
a fluke,
owned a
though.
side-by-side that I haven't rolled.
That's a good point.
And I don't know anybody that hasn't rolled a side-by-side, really, that owns them.
I would say
rolling,
recently
man,
Mike Reed, but he
Mike
rolled.
Reed did roll. Rolling a side by side, I tell you, it's something else, dude.
There's something to it.
There's something
Yeah.
to
It
it.
sure is fun.
Okay, because like as you're driving it, at me at least, I'm like, I don't want to roll this. That's like pretty much throughout the whole time. I'm
Really
driving.
nice
Top of the
unit.
list of things
Top
you
of
don't
the
want
list
to
of
do.
things you don't want to roll it. Okay, and then you come to the point where you're rolling. Okay, and you're like,
Yeah, I didn't want to do this.
I didn't want to do this. Keep my arms in.
Here we are.
Here we go. Here goes the plastics. Doug's gonna be pissed. Boom.
Trying to steer out of the roll. I can correct this.
It's just son of a bitch.
Well,
Every
so what's
time.
the better way to roll? Sideways or forward?
It's
Man,
sideways.
but here's the thing. Sometimes forward, you get lucky, dude. You land back on the wheels. I've seen that happen before. Okay. Generally, you destroy the back of your side by side,
Yeah.
and also your grill and radiator.
Yeah.
So I guess there is no good way.
Sand's
to
a
roll
good place to roll, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You think that, but sand is like so dense it slows you down, so it's also ripping things off
That's a good
as
point.
you're rolling.
There's no good spot to roll a side
Yeah,
by side.
hey,
My buddy Alec rolled his pretty good.
When did he roll it?
It was like way early in River Ranch.
Okay.
He like pulled up and the river was here, that
Okay.
giant deep river, and just like thump like right over and like upside down.
And it
Really?
went forward?
Almost immediately. It was like pulling into like a 15-foot drop.
like drop in, kind
Like it was dark
Yeah.
and there's a pit, a river.
and he fell into the pit.
Just drove right into it.
Dropped it
Straight into the pit at low speed.
Wow.
That's
and
a
it
bad
flopped
deal.
forward?
It went like thump.
Oh,
And it
we
was
didn't,
upside down.
Oh, it was upside down.
Yeah.
Wow.
It
Into
was-
the water? Mm-hmm. And he was in it still.
Yeah.
He got out.
It wasn't super deep.
Okay.
It was like the water was kind of just like touching the top of the helmet, I think. And then that was the same unit that Parker sunk. I don't know if you guys were there for that one in River
Wait,
Ranch.
yeah.
Man,
Sunk-
I don't think
Is
I was
it-
there for that.
Parker sunk that one in the same river that Doug got in trouble in, I think.
In the canal?
And he's still
Canal.
allowed at
Yeah,
River
and
Ranch?
he's still alive.
I
He's
don't
probably
know.
got a platinum membership.
And then I think a building
And a
fell on it.
helipad.
Pretty sure
Wait.
a building fell on it.
Wait, what?
I think when Garrett's building came down in the storm,
Oh, yeah, it did happen.
I think it was Parker's unit.
What was your hardest roll?
My hardest roll was probably the one where I tried to skim the water.
That was
I
hard. That was hard.
I was successfully skimming the water. I wasn't able to successfully stop skimming the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Water skimming is it seems easy,
Super
just let's
dangerous.
power over it. But as soon as that thing starts weebling and wobbling, you're done.
Done.
I've had some sketchy. Every time I've jumped the Talon, I always had some sketchiness because it always tried to lawn dart.
Yeah, you got to get
Yeah.
a nice long jump.
You have to have a long, it's like basically
Yeah,
the
it
rule
didn't
of thumb,
seem
it has
to
to be
really
as
like
long
to-
as the wheelbase of the car. But those do, they nose. They are nose heavy for sure.
Which is weird because everything's in the back.
Yeah,
They
that
haven't
doesn't
figured it
really.
out.
Yeah,
I would love to 4-corner scale one. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think they're like 40-60. So 40 front, 60 back. They're not bad. Like,
and they're short.
Right.
Yeah, little short guys.
for somehow Polaris has gotten the jumping figured out on all their side by sides.
Yeah.
They just fly flat. I don't know how. I don't know why, but they just do.
Yeah, I mean yours always flew so well.
That Turbo S flew, yeah, amazing. That thing was the best. That I actually never crashed while jumping, and then the new one, the first day, I jumped it, I crashed.
I do remember that video. That was a quite a crash.
Yeah, that was the hardest hit I've ever taken.
It sucks so bad because he had a helmet cam on, and the GoPro corrupted.
Yeah, I've had a lot of bad luck with GoPros.
Yep.
Yeah,
They're really not good for really filming.
I like GoPros still, but when they fail, it seems like it's at the worst time.
it's
I
when you
don't know
want
why.
them the most. It's when you want that footage more than any other footage. Is when it says, "I can't do this for you."
Yeah, sorry, bud.
I had one fail when it was a forward-facing cam racing 2JP on the drag strip, and it
failed?
Yeah, that was cool. Well, it did this weird thing where it just jumped 16 seconds. So like
Never seen that.
I was about to let off the button, and it just like jumped 16 seconds to like at the end of the run. It's like, man, that was really cool because we both had problems. It was a shit run anyways. We both kind of failed. Both kind of sucked on that
I would
one.
contact 2JP and as well as GoPro and see if you get that figured out.
I was like, I don't know. The GoPro failed, guys. Can't see my failure.
How do we contact 2JP? I got some stuff to talk to him about.
Just give that 2J a call, dude.
Yeah, it was both two failed 2JZs that day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's thing on a drag strip is not okay. It's so scary, that thing. My anxiety is at its highest point when Doug's driving that on the drag strip.
It's fine for like 300 feet, and then
Yes.
it gets scary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Once it's like really moving, then you're like, whew, that thing's like super loose and like super floaty and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Floaty, yeah.
one little turn, that thing's gonna like try to shimmy or something. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
No-
remember when you
no
were on the water
downforce or
skimming,
aero,
And
yeah.
like once it starts giving the wobbles, it's unfortunately like the same feeling.
seems sketchy to drag race.
Yeah, it's not good. So we're trying to make some changes in the background on that. Unfortunately, our hands are in so many different places at one time.
Powder
Getting
coat, customer shop.
Powder Coat, customer shop, life, liberty, pursuit of
Life,
happiness.
liberty.
All of
Yeah.
these things
Twins.
get in the way. We're gonna skinny it up. We're gonna lighten it up. We're trying to go for sub 2,000 pounds, which shouldn't be too tough. And then safety it up, and then
Yeah.
make it go a lot faster on the asphalt.
Oh, on the asphalt. I didn't know
Yeah.
if that was still the goal.
Doug really wants to run sevens with it, which shouldn't be hard.
No, it's got everything for it already.
Yeah.
If it just, I mean, it already has the power to weight to run sevens. I mean, if my car can run sevens at 3,200 pounds
Yeah.
with the same turbo basically and less motor, there's really no reason we have the same trans.
Right.
There's really no reason why it can't.
Right. Arrow and balls. Mm-hmm. And now safety and all these other things. So
Yeah.
that's something that's more of a long-term goal with that. And then also, too, the side-by-side records for 300 foot just went insane a couple weeks ago in Arizona.
Oh yeah,
So
1320 was at that, right?
yeah, they were. I don't think that video's come out yet. At least I
No.
haven't seen it. But like the record for the 300 foot was just blown out of the water by almost 2/10, which is a huge. Really, that's a lot in 300 feet. 2/10.
How are they testing that? Were they actually like at like a drag strip? Like, did they set up some kind of makeshift timing system?
So it's a regular. So like dirt and sand drags are 300 foot pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
So the timing system's all good for that. The track was the biggest thing. It was like this clay dirt mixture in Arizona at this place called Dome Valley, and it just really gave a lot of traction. And so the people with big power and big money builds were able to come out and put down some serious times.
Yeah, those things looked serious, stretched and everything. Like
Yeah.
those were some
Those are nasty.
badass X3s,
Yeah.
like compound turbo X3 engines and stuff. It looked pretty sick. That'll be a cool video to see.
Yeah, the setups on those are next level. Like they're spooling twin 60 mil turbos with a 900cc engine.
Are they using nitrous on that?
I don't think that
think?
one has nitrous. The
No.
fast one.
I guess you don't really have like Because like I think of a race car, you have to get through a converter,
Right.
but you don't really have to do that
Nope.
to do that. But to race with a CVT, I don't know how you can do that without just blowing everything apart. Smarter
Belts are
people
strong,
than me.
dude. Belts are strong. A lot of people talk crap about belts, but if you do it right, like it's the best transmission. Like it's always in the right spot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it reacts quick. There's no shifting.
It would be cool to see one like actually go fast drag racing, like a belt style transmission.
Yep.
Would be interesting. That could be kind of cool. So with 2JP
Yeah.
and big projects, doing big projects like that, I feel like I've heard you guys touch on that and like how difficult it is to commit to doing something like that now.
Yeah.
Like the amount of time, resources, and like videos to do any kind of big swap or build or something, how unfeasible that is. Or
It's not that it's unfeasible. I think as we get older, like that's the main thing. Like Nick's situation, for example, right? He's trying to start a family.
he's started a full family.
Right. It's already happened. He's basically done starting a family.
Yeah, guys, success.
2 steps ahead, brother.
Dude's got one. So, I mean, with anything like that, it's just really a situation of the amount of time you could invest from a personal standpoint. Like, we all love the shop and we all love being there. But at the same time, like, people have lives outside of making videos and making fast stuff. And we're kind of living as if we're like our mid-20s. We're all like mid-30s. And Nick's the only person that has kids in the immediate group. So it's tough,
Yeah.
right? I think you kind of dedicate yourself in a way that's maybe unhealthy to it. And we're sort of understanding that now as we get into it. But we always have ideas for builds, and there's going to be one that we're going to be talking about. I guess depends when this video is coming out, but that's just purely dedicated for burnouts, and it's definitely something no one's ever done, like by a long shot.
Okay, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. I mean, for you guys where you're at, you're almost at a level where I feel like you could change your YouTube formula and do like seasons. Like
Yeah.
if you were filming like a show and like, okay, we're filming for the next 5 weeks. Mm-hmm. And then film, edit, and post those like it's almost like a TV show to give yourself some cushion of like, this is off time, this is on time.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. That
Like,
makes a lot of sense.
you actually have like a production going on, and then like once the production's over, then the shops run and stuff.
Right.
It seems like once you get to that point, it's almost what you need.
Yeah, I've always sort of imagined that like we would kind of do like the OCC formula because we were doing that for a while, like these celebrity
chair.
YouTuber builds. Nick does that off camera all the time.
Well, one is
Throw
it?
a chair,
Yeah,
like the Orange County chopper guy.
I blast
He's Paul
chairs,
Jr., dude. Doug's
I
Paul
freaking
Sr..
rip shirts, dude. I freaking. I'm not gonna say the next part because
Anyway,
It would just be cool to like
yeah.
to be able to format it a little differently for you guys, because it's hard to go in this like daily vlogging style.
that's what people want is unfortunate. So I think if we were to do that, it'd have to be like a really serious change and maybe like a production crew. But like the idea of like an OCC style shop where like we still have stuff that we're doing, but like we do these celebrity custom builds and then we do these cool like one-off builds. Maybe some casino will pay us for it, dude. We'll sit in the casino and then we'll
That'd
be
be
get
sweet,
free
dude.
gambling for life,
that'd
dude.
be
Maybe
the best
Yeah.
deal of all time, probably.
You know, like sometimes the casinos have like a win your car. They have it like up
Yeah.
there. You have
Yeah.
like a side by side up there. Win the
he
side
gets
by
10K
side.
free play, dude.
Yeah.
For real,
let's
our
go.
local casino, there's a friggin' OCC bike there. I'm like, man,
See,
Yeah.
it's not
need a
different.
friggin' SSX blog bike here.
You guys are the local friggin' heroes.
Yeah, something like that. So I don't know. I see what you're saying. I think it's like it's a scary thought to try to like turn off the
Reformat,
schedule
yeah.
because people rely on the schedule. I rely on it, and without having like a clear goal of what needs to be done on a daily basis, it's tough to maintain the drive to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I saw recently somebody that I'm friends with on Facebook. I don't remember who it was, but they like filmed for like one of those TV shows.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, going back to film for 2 weeks and then like 2 weeks off. And I'm like, man, that's a pretty nice schedule and way to do it.
Yeah.
Like you go in, you know what you're filming, you know what you're doing, parts are there, you're ready to go. Like you got a director and a producer and stuff. You film, you do your entertainment, edit it, and then it comes out like in a series,
Yeah.
which sounds really almost like what you kind of need as you get older, because everybody can't just like, well, we got to be here from 6 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night to finish this build.
I know, seriously. And it's coming down to that recently, too. Like, we've all been spending a tremendous amount of time at the shop. And it just, unfortunately, doesn't really show on video the amount of time. Like, for the last week, I probably had an average of, like, 13 to 14-hour days at the shop. Like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
8 a.m. to 10 p.m., 9 a.m. to 11.
And sometimes that 10 hours isn't even quantifiable into a video.
No.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'll do so much stuff, and it's, like, not even, like, you know, like, what am I going to show ordering parts and, like, calling people? Like, what?
Emailing
editing?
people. Like, what? No one wants to see that stuff. So it's tough. I think we're kind of getting into a groove with the new personnel and kind of the trim the fat, with all due respect, trim the fat level team.
Yeah.
So,
Slim it down a little.
yeah.
Make it a little more streamlined of a team.
Right.
I saw you guys just posted new person running the parts store, right?
Yeah, so Doug's brother is taking that on full time.
Steve, good dude.
Yeah. He likes doing it, which is a big thing.
Yeah.
He knows side by sides really well too.
Yeah.
So he's not just
Yeah.
some guy. He's one of the crazy guys that has nitrous
Yeah.
Right.
on his.
One of the
Yeah.
It's one of those guys, dude.
He smiles when he blows stuff up. That's how you know he's wild, dude.
He's definitely a Butterfield.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we were out there in Glamis with him, and I remember him like trying to spray it up a hill, and it was just like spitting and sputtering and popping, and he's just foot to the floor. Just,
Yeah.
Just see what I can
I was
do.
like,
dude.
hell yeah.
Pushing right through it, dude.
So that's cool to see him being able to be like part of the team and like actually
Yeah.
kind of partake in all the fun.
Yeah,
they
and
came
he's
together
so
well.
good.
Yeah, he is. He's
Behind
done
the
a
scenes,
really
he's-
good job.
He's a badass dude. It's nice to have someone like dedicated like that. It's been a while since we've had that mentality, because I think we've all kind of gotten used to like what we've built. To have someone come in and like really be jacked about it is
Yeah.
like a whole different thing.
Yeah,
Fresh blood for it.
fresh
So
blood, yeah.
where did side by side start? Side by side blogs start? Like, what was the origins of it? Because it's been a long time, is it not?
Yeah, like
I mean,
so,
you've been filming things forever.
Yeah, we started. So the first video was like September or October 2015. But you had a side by side before that, right?
Yeah, I bought
When
it
did you get the
in
900?
June
In June?
of 2015. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I bought a side by side in June of 2015.
So was that
Had no one. I knew no one with a side
fresh
by side.
into side by side? Like, side by sides were kind of just becoming like long travel sporty units.
This was like a weird time. It was like, you know, the ones that were sweet were like they looked sweet, but they weren't actually sweet, kind of deal. No offense, I'm talking about yours.
Oh, my Wildcat.
Man, you're gonna hit the Wildcat like that right off the kick?
Yeah.
I mean, like you look at this, you know, especially at that time, you look at this thing and it looks like a freaking trophy truck, dude.
Yeah, it was like when the
Sand car.
Raptors came out, you're like, whoa.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
what is
same thing.
this?
It's like I can't believe this, and it's
You could just buy
$15,000. What are you crazy? I don't have $15,000, which I didn't. I had told my brother, I'm like, dude, you got to help me buy this thing, and he did. And then
He set you in the right direction.
Yeah, he
dude.
did. He sent me in the right
Good
direction.
guy,
He helped
dude.
me buy a freaking. It was a 2014. No, it was a 2012.
Yeah.
Was it a 12?
It was a 12, dude.
A 2012 900 XP. This thing was mint orange madness, dude. I thought this was the sweetest rig ever.
Baddest ride
Yeah,
ever.
it was
Nothing
so
will ever
badass.
compare.
But yeah, didn't know anyone with side by sides. Didn't
That's a big venture in.
big time.
It's a very community sport.
It was.
not a
Well,
solo
I didn't
thing.
know it was.
No, it's not at
Yeah.
all.
But then, yeah, one of my best friends is like, dude, I know this guy. He wants to ride with you. I'm like, what, dude?
Yeah. Okay,
It's a blind date.
it kind of was. So
yeah.
let's think about
Pretty
this. So
romantic.
you were September 15.
He's got a Wildcat.
Seriously. Doug in like January 15 got a Maverick, like the OG Maverick.
And you already knew Doug?
I've known Doug since like 2007 or 8.
Oh,
in
okay.
college.
Doug was just a snowmobile guy.
Snowmobile dude, Banshee dude, had quads, worked on some
Man,
stuff.
and Banshee guy.
He built some junk quads of mine, doesn't matter. He bought a side by side, and I'm like, this freaking guy, dude. Like, so in October 14, I posted this video to my Facebook, and it was an XP 1000 Polaris doing like a road gap jump, and I said, reason 10 million why I need a side by side, right? I type it, I post it, right, and then Doug buys one. I'm like, this mother, dude, I can't believe that. And then so a few months later, I got this piece of shit Wildcat. It looked cool, but it was slower than hell. And I went on a test ride with Doug in it. He's like, man, you know, you should just take mine for a ride first and just see what you think. Because he's the sweetest guy, you know.
Yeah. Well, you went for a test drive before you bought it with him?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
so you were just like, oh, like this thing ribs.
Yeah, but I haven't been in his yet at that point. Because it was like this, you know, really nice toy. Not anyone can go drive it. So, yeah, he tells me that, and I'm like, nah, dude, I'm getting this thing. It was at a dealer. It was $9,000. It had, like, some extra bars welded in on the cage and shit, like a Muzzy exhaust. I'm like, damn, this
already
sucker
modified,
ripped.
dude.
Yeah,
Loud.
It just was a real piece of shit, and it broke, like, 19 times over the course I had it. Like, it ruined 19 rides.
You're determined.
Hard to believe.
It was not a
Determined, though. 19 repairs.
Yeah. All the time. So then we met Nick. We went on a ride with Nick. What was our first ride? I forget.
So wait,
St. Helen.
so you rode Doug's at that point after, and you were probably like, oh shit,
dude, I was so convinced that the Wildcat was better that you could have put me in anything.
I like
and
that
I would have been
mentality.
like, dude, this Wildcat's the shit. Like, I don't care if
Yeah.
it's slow. I don't care if it's not as loud. Nothing.
You
good
just lost in
mentality.
the sauce, dude. I remember it.
Their marketing team got him.
Got him for sure.
Hook, line, and sinker. You probably
Yeah.
had the brochure memorized.
Dude, I had a lot of stuff memorized.
This thing sounds like a Harley, dude. Need
It's
that.
like a Harley V-twin. It was a V-twin.
Ilga Stage 5.
Okay, come on, dude. That wasn't until later. Let's not get to that point yet.
All right, so you guys you finally are meeting Nick.
Right, so the first video we ever put out, ever, was meeting Nick. Nick was on the ride with us. So, like, it really set the precedent for our team going riding, like, moving forward.
And that
Right.
was kind of just random in a way that was
Super,
also the first
super
video.
random.
Why?
Yeah, yeah.
Why did you? Was it just a video of riding, or was it like a YouTube style video?
It
Even
was
at
a
that
YouTube
point,
style video. Yeah.
like okay, like you actually went in, like not just like because some people start with like clips.
Well,
No,
dude,
and
I
then
guess
suddenly
going
just
back,
like-
like he started it was a website.
yeah,
You
side
know,
by
he
side.
started
blog,
it
yeah.
as a website. So that was existing prior to that.
But like that had this creative juice flowing from like writing these articles, and like it was based on Autoblog, which I'm sure you've been on.
Yeah.
Autoblog, Jalopnik, shit like that, right?
Yep.
UTV blog was taken, right? And I understand at the time, and even now, UTV is more popular than the word side by side. The side by side blog was open, so I'm writing these articles. Doug's writing some articles and shit in there. But the market moves slow, dude. Like there's no new stuff coming out every month like there is with cars. So I got these creative juices, and I decided to start filming videos from side-by-side stuff. But unbeknownst to probably most people, I've been taking videos of me doing stuff since I was like 4 years old. Like my parents' camcorder, taking videos of me like jumping my little 16-inch tire bike
Yeah.
and stuff. And I've never done anything with these videos ever. So I figured like, okay,
Just
now is the
filming
time.
for the joy of it, the good old days.
And just
Yeah.
got a bunch of high 8 tapes sitting around, VHS-C tapes, you know, mini DV tapes, just infinity tapes of nothing. But now it's like, okay, digital cameras are good. Like I got 1080 resolution. Like I can really do something with this. And that's how it was born.
So just the three of you guys going for a ride. Do you remember where you rode?
Yeah, St.
St.
Helen.
Helen.
Same
Yeah.
trails we still ride to this day.
Dang, that's pretty freaking awesome. It's interesting. Like I find it cool that you were like a filmer to begin with. Like you always enjoyed the film, and that obviously shows because you film everything still.
Yeah.
For the most part, and I feel like you know who's the same way as Kyle Loftus.
Yeah.
He was like, people used to like get mad at him, I guess, when he would go to like the street racing and just film everything.
Right.
And then it just evolved. And I think that's a big part of it is you have to actually love the filming
Right.
and documenting things. That's where I always struggle because I don't film things that well to begin with. So it kind of is tough. You know, you need somebody that actually cares about the footage.
Right.
But the side-by-side story is cool that it goes back that far. I thought it was a little older than that, honestly. It's similar to when me and Garrett started working
Yeah.
together, too, 2015-ish.
Yeah.
That was when, like, the Cletus stuff and, like, me and him were with 1320, and that started to become a thing.
It's like mind-blowing to me that that's come full circle because at the end of the day, like all of us are car dudes at heart. the side-by-sides are just a cool way to have like a badass four-wheel machine that does stuff.
Yeah.
And I've been watching 1320 video since you had to download the videos, like the blue Parrish Turbo Silverado, twin
Yeah.
Turbo Silverado stuff. I still have those rat hold on like an old hard drive.
Like when they were like Kyle was selling DVDs.
Yeah,
that kind
I
of
could not
stuff.
afford the DVDs. I would download the videos from like, it was way before Street Fighter, like way before all that stuff. And it's just so mind-blowing to me to see that stuff, and then you guys hook up, you and Garrett, you're working for 1320, and then like a number of years later, here we are, like existing in the same space. It's very,
It's all
for
because
lack of a
of
better
weird,
word,
dude.
fucking weird
Yeah,
to me.
it's weird.
Listen, I'm convinced most automotive YouTubers and YouTube content creators are because of Kyle Loftus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many people like that are like, oh yeah, I saw like a video of like a boosted car ripping down the street, and I was like, I could do that and film it and post it. Like,
Yep.
it's very like he started a big domino effect
I mean,
for
yeah.
so many
Sorta
YouTubers.
held the this entire like genre of YouTube.
Yeah.
Like,
And even like merchandise and stuff
Oh,
too.
yeah.
He was ahead of his
Yeah.
like head of everybody on that stuff. Like the whole YouTube thing, it was a long time before I saw somebody successful on YouTube. I think I saw like in 2017 or 18, I saw somebody like bought a Corvette off of like being a YouTuber, and I was like, wow, that's possible off of like automotive YouTube. That was kind of when it was like mind blowing still for me.
Right.
And I think I was still thinking small.
It's easy to do because
well,
it
it's
doesn't
just,
seem
yeah,
possible.
It's so unfamiliar, and it's just like you said, it doesn't seem like this can't be real.
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of people look at our channel too. You know, we have a decent amount of subs for the market that we're in, but it's hard to imagine a channel with that few of subscribers like doing what we do. And it's all because of the things that guys like Kyle have paved the way for: the merchandising, the part sales, which I think he did for a little bit with I think like a wheel and tire thing that's no longer existing.
Oh yeah.
But things like that pave the way to create this style of living. And I think you're totally right. With what you're
Yeah,
saying
Kyle
about
definitely deserves his flowers on that one.
Yeah.
Do you think that your market, like side by sides, like you said, is not the biggest market? Do you
Right.
worry about that at all? Like, you know,
No.
the expansion, like they're just getting more popular, so you're just kind of on the ground floor still, in a way, I guess.
Yeah, that's a weird question. Like we've talked about this a lot. Like if we had this same energy and stuff in automotive, like I think we'd have a really big channel because the automotive stuff is more accessible to people. Like you can have $5,000 and have a car. If you have $5,000, you can't even breathe on a side by side.
Yeah.
Like a decent one to go rip trails, 10, 12 maybe, but it's gonna be a piece of shit.
Yeah, I've heard somebody. I read a comment once, and they were like, "Do a cheap side by side challenge."
No such
Doesn't
thing.
doesn't exist.
Even like you go to freaking Lowe's or Home Depot, like those things are like, $12.
$7,000.
They're more than that, dude.
Yeah.
The ones are like they're
They're not gonna
freaking
make it up a
15
trail.
Yeah, like they're. It's just sort of crazy. It is like you said, it is a niche market for sure, but at the same time,
Yep.
like it's an ever growing market. Like I feel like we're still pretty low on where it will end up. Like we talked about, like it's sort of a
This feels like muscle car era
yeah,
to me.
it
Like
sort of does.
I think
early
that
70s.
EPA likes you guys more than it likes me.
Yeah.
And I think they're kind of pushing a lot of brands out of cars with VIN numbers and license plates into side-by-sides.
yeah.
Because as that kind of squeeze happens, you go to the next thing that's legal with a motor. Mm-hmm. And that kind of falls into side-by-sides pretty quickly. And I think that might be a good thing because I know the EPA is trying to get rid of people like me, but they seem to like side-by-sides still.
Yeah, it's
I
very
think
weird.
It's more of they haven't got there yet.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
but you guys aren't street vehicles.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
You're
It's
you're
sort of
off road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the only off road use.
Yeah, but it depends on what state, dude. Some states, like you go to Arizona,
yeah, but that's
drive the
it's,
sucker wherever.
yeah, it's not the rule though. That's the exception. So
Yeah.
I see your point on that. I think in general the EPA stuff is going to hit the side by side community like a wave at some point.
Yeah.
But again, because it's off road use, and that's been a touchy subject, especially being a reseller for big performance companies like
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking tuners and exhausts and
cat deletes, things like that. It's a
Yeah.
gray area.
Like,
We
that's
don't
the
sell
tough
them
stuff.
to California
yeah,
because that's illegal. So
yeah. What about electric side by sides?
I want them now.
I feel like I've seen some teased.
Yeah. Like Segway's got one that's supposed to be a hybrid.
I would imagine there's so much torque there.
Dude, it's 100 horsepower and then an extra 80 with a hybrid motor. I love gas electric hybrids. Like I drove a Volt since 2014. I think it's a great car. It's slow as shit, whatever, all that stuff. But like in terms of what it can do, especially in an off-road situation, count me in.
But even like range isn't as big of a deal when you're talking about a
not so
side by
much,
side.
yeah.
You're going 50, 60 miles.
Yeah, if you can make one that lasts 60, 70 miles,
Yep.
you're good for a full day of riding.
Especially like rock crawling, like you use zero fuel when you're rock crawling or doing slow trail riding stuff. Like electric side by sides, man, it's coming soon. Like there's patents from all the major manufacturers.
Yeah, I would imagine that's only the next logical step when they're looking at performance and stuff. It'd be hard to compete with the and like the traction control that they would be able to implement.
Yeah.
Right.
Would be wild.
Right.
The weight would be all low, so they would jump really well.
If it's like a Corvette E-Ray, I think
How
that would
good
be
they go
sweet.
underwater.
It's time to find out.
Endlessly, technically. I mean, they don't really have a snorkel or anything they need.
Dude, IP67, dude.
Instead of just going in and it flipping under, it would just go.
So Johnny Depp was walking underwater
Yeah.
in the one movie, just walking on the ground.
Dude, Mythbusters, dude, busted it. Can't do it. Buoyancy's too high, dude.
Doesn't matter, dude. It's Johnny Depp.
That's a good point.
Anything's possible with the power of the
He
devil.
can make it happen. Well, before we leave, is there any side-by-side companies that have one that they've been teasing for a while that you don't think is ever going to come out? And
Dude, yeah. DCT Can-Am, like,
I meant like a small manufacturer that you
okay.
may have had beef with in the past and attacked openly on all forums.
come on, attacked. All right, first of all, okay, you see where he's going with this, dude?
Yeah, I'm not gonna acknowledge any.
I'll acknowledge it.
Get the hell out.
Get this glass of water down, dude, while I talk.
pretty-
about
I'm
your-
gonna pour this on my head, dude.
We're pretty far in at this point, so
No, it's okay. No, I think it's great. So Robbie Gordon, Speed UTV, it's very difficult to do what he's doing, and he's doing it, but no one has their car yet, even to this day. They're here. They don't have them yet.
Yeah, the cars are here and they're built, which
like
is
here landed from China or like here built in the U.S. or
Oh, landed from
Canada.
China. It was always going to be Hisun building them. That was like the big undertone that no one picked up on.
Yeah.
I don't care who makes anything as long as it's quality. Something built in America has a shitload of Chinese stuff in it anyway. Who cares?
Canadian Can-Ams are pretty good.
Those are built in Mexico.
Yeah.
Mexican, my man.
I've actually driven past when we went through Texas to go to Cheyenne.
Oh, you can
we
see
went
it.
over the border and you just saw
Yeah.
like dozens of them sitting like right there. You're like, oh
Yeah.
man.
And who cares? I don't know. Global economy, it doesn't matter that much. Like, obviously, American jobs are important, but this is a relatively small operation. This isn't like, GM or Ford.
Yeah, nobody would pay for a U.S. made side by side.
I mean,
The cost would
Polaris-
probably be pretty spicy.
Polaris makes them all
Do they?
year. Yep,
Oh, wow,
Minnesota.
good for them.
No, they're assembled in Mexico.
Well, do you think they will
Oh,
be
they're all assembled in Mexico.
in people's hands soon enough?
I think this year someone will have them, and I hope to try one out. I hope it's good. Like,
Yeah.
I don't wish anybody bad. I
Yeah.
think that's like the misconception. I think the overselling on promises is a problem, and then prepaying up front is a problem because it's like a basically crowd-funded side-by-side, which crowdfunding, okay, it works sometimes. But in a
there's good
situation
and
like
bad.
this where there's hundreds of millions of dollars on the line,
Yeah, it's an expensive crowdfunded item because you're not crowdfunding like a $10 item where you could just go buy it
right?
after. You got to actually be a baller to
Yeah.
crowdfund that and then also think you're going to go buy one.
Right.
Yeah, so God bless the people that are really jacked on it coming. I hope they get their car, but I would never prepay for something like that, ever.
Yeah, that's a tough one to prepay for.
Big unknown.
Being
Big
the
unknown.
first to own a item
Yeah.
is tough, even like with cars, like
Yeah.
the first Teslas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Questionable.
But no one crowdfunded it, so
Yeah.
that's the difference.
Well, good deal. Just wanted to end it off on that.
Thanks, Coop.
Love you, Robbie Gordon.
Hey,
Roberto Gordon, I love you, man.
hey. I mean, it was drama for a little while that I was curious about. I didn't ask about any other drama because I don't care.
I don't think we did that though.
What?
Did we start that? I don't think we did.
I don't know. There is a lot of other
Sometimes
drama.
you just get grabbed and pulled in and you fall into. And,
Yeah,
you know?
I'm sure some people will comment that I didn't ask about other drama, and I will just tell you guys all right now, I don't care to do that. This is not a drama show.
And here's the thing: they shouldn't care either.
They
Simple.
do care, but
but
I
why?
personally don't. I personally don't care to be the guy that publicizes all that stuff because it doesn't matter to me. I'm here to have conversations about side-by-side stuff and hang out with my friends for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Dude, straight shooter, dude.
That's what
Straight
this is
shooter.
about.
Straight shooter.
Thanks, Scoop.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for coming on. I normally ask where can they find you at, but I think that's pretty obvious. They can find you everywhere.
See you on thebigend.com, baby.
Yeah,
Nice
see you
shop.
on thebigend.com, sidebysideblog.com. But that's going to do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Keep it saucy. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Scoop. Thanks, Scoop.
Cooper.
That was fun.